Hey guys, it's Ron. Welcome back to the channel and thank you for tuning in. Today we have sort of a deck profile, sort of a deck talk type video where we talk about the Pale Moon Premium deck and Premium deck building world. So of course you're going to need your Excel 2s, so make sure you get these. These are pretty easy to get your hands on, so make sure you get those. And to start the deck profile, we have a starter of, I guess, what is it? Ionella? Yeah, her. I like to run the Silver Thorn starter because, first of all, the draw, second of all, the quick shield if you go second, and third of all, your opponents will look at you, see your playmat being Lukier, and be like, he's playing, he's playing Silver Thorn. What do I do against that? Of course, every game plan is different when you're playing against Pale Moon. There's a lot of different deck profile or different decks that you can build. I will be getting into that in a bit. I guess I'll go over that at the end of the video. But getting into the grade 3s, we have 4 Silverthorn, Dragon Tamer, Lukier. And honestly, I was considering not running this at 4. Her ability that you use mostly is the continuous during your turn if you called 2 or more cards from your soul, plus 10,000. So 22k beat stick is really nice. Of course, the Excel marker is pretty nice. And I think the Vanguard Circle Act skill, once per turn, counterblast to discard a card, call any number of cards with Silver Thorn, and my front row gets plus 10,000. It's pretty useless. This deck doesn't have much of an amazing ride-up, but it does have a little bit of a, oh crap, my opponent is playing Pale Moon, maybe they're playing the Infinite, I should damage deny, you know? Of course, running 2 Nightmare Doll Alice in this deck because we are not doing the Infinite. Her use in the deck is just kind of combo extension. Not much. Let me adjust my camera. Sorry. Not much other than combo extension. She's pretty good. That's all I can really say. Your opponent's at 4 or 5 and you want to start pushing some damage, go ham. Use that counterblast. And of course, the main ride of the deck, which really hurts me, is Silverthorn Beast Tamer Dorian. And, well, she's restricted to 1. I've been playing with this deck for quite a while, since last BCS actually, and I ended up taking Great Nature to that because it was better in the meta. Had a better matchup against Neo Nectar, Katrina build, which, oof, that was a rough BCS, I think, for most people. But this card was really amazing, and I'm sad that they restricted it to 1 in both Premium and Standard. In Premium, I think it would have just made it so that way your card draw is a lot easier to make, and of course you can get Ultimate Stride Fodder from her own ability, assuming you have another one of herself in Soul. So, end of your turn, you have an Excel circle and a full field, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units on your field. You draw 3 cards and then add a Dorian from Soul to hand. It's 3 cards to hand, which is an amazing thing. It's like a lot of card draw, a lot of card advantage. So, of course, they had to restrict her a little bit. But if you see this card, toss her on your Vanguard Circle, you'll want to stay on her the whole game. Of course, we're running 1 Comicality Chimera. Good form of countercharge in the deck, and I guess my neighbors decided now is a good time to whip out the Power Saw. Running 1 Tricky Assistant, whose whole use is to A, make bigger numbers, B, get rid of Hanali and pesky units that you do not want to have to deal with. So, just kind of use these 2 as you please. Try and find this one to ride. Combo extension, and just a beat stick that you wouldn't mind having on your Vanguard Circle because, I mean, she's pretty. Getting into the grade 2 lineup, this is one that I don't think it's very special at all, like this whole lineup. 4 Misdirection V-Series, because counterblasting 1 to, I guess, put 2 to soul and draw 2, so you're not negging yourself a minus of anything, you're just kind of doing a lot of filter and getting your soul set up, so it's pretty useful. 3 Flying Periton. I know this card is insanely valuable, but he is still GB restricted, and we will be trying our best to get as many not GB restricted units to go ham because we're not going to be running the early GB engine. Not in this deck at least, and I will go over that. I might do a deck profile for a, early GB going nuts type thing. But he's an amazing card, and he is like one of the coolest combo extenders of just free soul charge and call a card to the same to the back row circle. And he sets up your soul and all that jazz, but like you really only need 3. You will see him. Lastly, we're running 3 Silver Thorn Rising Dragon, who is a 19k beat stick, of course. Same ability as Lukier of getting plus 10 if you've called 2 or more. Grade 1s, we are running 3 of this promo, Ignite Proposer. He is a 10k intercept. He's a really funny card. The 10k shield is mostly what I was thinking of, but the 13k boosting is also pretty useful. Being able to intercept, so like say you set up your soul with misdirection, and then calling this to your front row, attacking for 13k, and then being able to intercept with 10k is pretty useful. Especially considering the fact that your early game is Pale Moon, surprisingly, well, not that surprising, it's not that good. Running 3 purple trapezist, and you might be asking why, and the answer is a 4th purple trapezist. But this one V-Series, I will explain that in a second. This card, just obvious, it's a 5k shield, which sucks, but like infinite value of LMAO, put to soul, LMAO, call. It's just so free, especially when you have so many units that gain abilities when placed from soul, or can call things mid-turn, so like you call her and then beep boop boop bop. So, purple trapezist V-Series. Why do I run her? A, 10k shield. I guess that just doesn't want to focus. A, the 10k shield. Wow, that's nice and pretty. B, the 7k body. And C, the skill. That also doesn't. There it goes. When put into your rearguard, when put from rearguard circle into soul blast 1 purple trapezist and call a card from your soul to rearguard circle. So, end of your turn, you're doing your Magia abilities, you put her to soul, you put him to soul. LMAO, her ability, Soul Blast herself, call him out, you have a 10k interceptor that will not put itself back to soul. Or, that's really like the biggest thing, but like you can always call like a grade 2 or something that has an on-place ability on rearguard circle, like Periton, and just kind of further set up your soul end of your turn with her ability. So I found her to be an interesting thing because yes, you can tutor cards in this deck. It's pretty easy. We'll go over that when we get to the grade 0s. I'm running 4 Silverthorn Assistant Irina, who is surprising because if you ride her, you can look for your Rising Dragons to put to soul, or your Lukiers to put to soul, or more Irinas to put to soul, and get a draw. But I mostly run her because A, 10k shield, B, on place on rearguard circle, top 2 cards of your deck, and try and set up your soul a little bit better. I honestly can't say that that's like the best reason to run her, and I'm planning on replacing her for the new Masquerade Bunny when she comes out, because grade 3 Searcher is way more valuable than LMAO 1 card to soul when I place this from hand. Getting to the grade 0s, I think. Yeah, grade 0s. We have 4 Candy Clown. He will be switched out for the new heal trigger because she's prettier. 4 Prankster Girl of Mirrorland. This is the card that allows you to tutor any card from your deck and put it into your soul. So you can search out your... Excuse me. Oh my, jeez. That burp tasted horrible. Excuse me. You can search out your Silver Thorns, your Dorian, put her to soul so you can force yourself to get a card draw. You can search out your Purple Trapezists, your anything in your deck, and just put it to soul so that way you can have that ready for your turn, your mad combos, go ham. Running 4 Exotic Jerker, you can abuse this mid-turn, and basically, since your Vanguard is going to attack twice, spoiler alert, your Stride allows that, you get to draw like twice off of her and give your Vanguard a nice plus to scare your opponent. And then, of course, lastly, we run 4 Hades Hypnotist. But wait, there's 3 more cards in the deck. Nunny! I'm running 1 Cat Knight and High Boots because, again, tutor from Mirrorland, and I like the on-ride draw effect, so I figured I should run Cat Knight because he's insanely valuable, but only at GB, and then run Irina because, or Irina, Ionella. What do you? It's not Irina. I'm like pretty dumb today. Sorry, guys. Tutor him later in the game when I can use him. Use her ability to allow early card draw. But wait, there's still 2 more cards. Happiness Collector. Ah, this card is so valuable. Super cute. GB restricted. 10k shield. But allows for mid-turn combos of drawing and soul charging. And if your opponent hits like 2 damage triggers, you can just kind of like focus a turn on utilizing Happiness Collector and draw like 12 cards. That's a lie, but like you can draw a lot of cards. Getting to the G zone, we run 1 Dust because LMAO, good finisher. 1 Coulthard because GB flipping is helpful sometimes. I can't, I don't know if this is Maja or Maha, but she soul charges 3 because I don't have a Hari Vanguard, or does it say Magia? Magia ability, not Hari. 3 Wandering Dragon because call any card from Soul. Hello? G-Guard. Call this, call a 20k shield or a PG from my Soul. And ta-da! Guard big attack with guard restrict. 2 Venus Luquiers because I feel like that's funny. I am running a Silver Thorn Luquier Vanguard. Ride her and then do this LMAO crit, which honestly isn't that useful ever. So it's just kind of a filler. 2 Yvette, who is combo extension, Excel circle creation, deck filter, soul setup, all that jazz. 4 Hari, your insane multi-attack combo stride, and then 2 Fancy Megatrick Dark Lord Princess because, well, she is just insanely valuable. If you don't know any of the combos with her, you have been hiding in a hole, and I'm sorry, but she just kind of like boop boop, double Vanguard attack, and then you can get like a million attacks, especially if you have Cat Knight and Soul. So that's a thing. Going into some of the other deck builds, let's go ahead and do a quick talk. You can do this deck, the Alice Dust Loop combo, which basically means you just kind of attack like 16 times with Alice and Ginny. Alice calls Ginny, Ginny goes back to Soul and calls Alice, and when that happens, Leslie restands. So you can just kind of do a big thing like that. Of course, that also works with Yvette, who gives plus 10,000 to the unit that's called, otherwise known as Leslie. And you just kind of like go off and do a sort of combo that your opponent is scared of. Another engine you could run in the deck is Songster. She is the Infinite Loop, which I find to be degenerate, but also not quite degenerate. These 4 cards are very, very important in the deck, if you don't know. But basically the combo is LMAO call. He either calls this to countercharge, so that way you never run out of countercharge, or you call another Periton that will call your Purple Trapezist, and Purple Trapezist will put stuff to Soul and call your Artilleryman. So that way you're hitting enormous numbers and going off without even having to stride. I think that deck is a little fragile, which is why I don't personally run it, because yes, it does rely on having the perfect pieces in hand and on field, so that's pretty cool, but like, you do get to damage deny your opponent, but there are some weird things that certain opponents can do, like Hoam, to force you to attack your opponent's Vanguard, which is why in that deck you would see lower number grade 2s and grade 1s, so that way you don't hit your opponent. Of course, like, Hyuga can still go off with no damage and deal a lot of damage, which means you would run out of cards in hand, or you would die. And I just find it to be pretty fragile, but it's still really strong, really crazy, and it can 0 to death your opponents, which is why it keeps you, the opponent, at 0. One of the last things I want to go over is this stupid engine. Do you notice how these units have no abilities? LMAO. You can run the Cray engine. +5, +5, +5. This guy gets a crit. He's a 3k body, but like +5 makes him an 8k. LMAO, you did Cyclone like 8 times. Okay, well, he gets +20k. So you make these numbers huge, crazy, and you probably do this list along with Visible Songster. So that way you don't get damage denied. LMAO, Hoam. And you also get early GB, so that way you can do other abilities. Your Zarzan, my bad, is tutorable from that one grade 2, I forgot her name. And it's really just a degenerate deck. So you force your opponent to not be able to damage deny you, and then you just kind of like go, LMAO, now I infinite you, and you win. Which, of course, it can be countered. It's premium. There's a lot of things you can do about that. Either way, today's video was not about that. It was about this. It was about her. It was about Happiness Collector. She's like actually surprisingly one of the main reasons I built this deck. I love her art so much. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope that we can talk more about Pale Moon in the future. The set is coming out in, I guess Friday, so like a couple days from now. I will be getting my Venus Luciers, and then I will be doing a standard deck profile for Silver Thorn. Maybe Hari. I don't really like Hari as much as I like Silver Thorn, though, so thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day.